This one is cool because it has a dandelion inside. Isn't that so cool? People tend to give crystals as gifts in LA, and that's great. I love them. There's a really big one over there in the corner. That guy, that crystal is crazy.
This is Molly. She started her own company called Pop-Up Greens. She hand paints pots and pairs the perfect plant with them. And she's doing some for the Hello room, which I'm so excited about. How pretty.
This is a drapey one.
Look at that pale pink. Oh, little baby for the desk. Now comes the place.
These items are snuff boxes, or also called gold boxes. These boxes were made to be carried around, so you would carry them in your pocket, you would give them to your mistress, you would receive one as a thank you gift. France had soon reached the courtly spheres, where both smoking and a bit later taking snuff was extremely fashionable. And in order to contain the snuff, you would obviously need a container, such as the Steinkabinet. This one is particularly wonderful because it has this hidden compartment which contains a little booklet that lists all the stones that are used on the box.
All of these dried plants are from my friend Yasmin, who's an amazing florist.
We change the flowers weekly. George knows me pretty well by now, so I usually send him a photo of whatever coffee table book I'm in the mood for, and we do flowers to match.
And I have to show you this amazing piece of art. It's by a Chinese artist. He sculpts out of paper, Li Hongbo, and looks like a bust, plaster bust, but it's actually completely paper. It's beautiful.
This beautiful marble chess set that I purchased during a vacation in Vietnam. I had the chance to tour one of their marble workshops, and they have lots of different merchandise, and they do ship overseas.
It's actually a lamp, and it is so glorious.
When I saw this for sale, I had to have it because I'm very famous for dancing with ostrich feather fans, so he's kind of doing a show here.
Men's magazine. Betty Page posed for these kinds of things, and they're men's magazines, they're racy. This magazine, I have this painting over here, and then I also have this one over here on that wall. I'm very proud of these.
They're sort of like cool artsy books, and then like shove the self-help books like down there where no one can see them.
Dresser here, I kind of store all of my, it sounds funny, I have coloring books and markers and pens and games, so when my friends come over, if they're bored, they have something to do.
This is a super little 1920s, 1930s Mahjong set. It's like a Chinese rosewood, all solid dovetail box. This slides up, and then you've got a really nice, complete fitted interior.
This one, the 200 count Iron Clays wooden box set, housed in a gorgeous rosewood veneered wooden chest with brass finish pull knobs and ornate white and gold metallic markings. Lower drawer of the chest doubles as a removable chip tray. Complete decks collectors out there watching this will undoubtedly find familiar. The Nomad deck from Theory 11 and the Maker's deck by Dan and Dave. This is the Pagan limited edition black deck from Usi. The thing I really like most about the cords is how they really kind of evoke a story, a promise of lore here that makes me feel as if these characters were created for a series of Dungeons and Dragons novels.
Some things at the Matra Souk. I don't the flashiest deck of cards you will ever see. These are supposedly lab tested 99.9% 24 karat gold. I'm a little confused because these weren't super expensive, and I would think that 24 karat gold plated cards would be more than I paid for these. I think I paid like $8. But yeah, I thought that these would be super fun to like pull out with some friends and be like, hey, who wants to play gold plated cards?
Oh, also, I have Jumanji! The weird thing is I had this before I was in the films because I was a huge Jumanji fan. But let's not do that, because I bought this Scrabble board because I saw it in a Vogue video that Taylor Swift did. And I was like, that's the coolest looking Scrabble board. I'm having that. So thanks Vogue for that recommendation.
And then Teddy has a little, it's actually a trash bin, but it's never been used for that. I throw some of his toys in there. And then he has another little toy bin over here. So he is just one spoiled little doggy.
I like to have my tea here and watch the hummingbird fights that happen over this feeder.
And so sometimes I sit out here and drink my coffee and look at this tree. It's really all I do. I just sit here and I stare. And then when I get bored of sitting and staring, I fall asleep. And then I wake up and I stare some more. See, it's relaxing.
So in the big area, we also have a hammock. So we got a hammock also from World Market.
And I had the pleasure of doing a press tour with Tom Cruise. And we went to Busan and we were both made honorary citizens. And we got this beautiful Korean gong, which I transported back to England. And then
This is my teacup collection. It's not, well, you probably, I don't know if you guys have even better teacup collection, but I've been collecting for a really long time.
Here, it's got a load of antique china. Some of it I bought, some of it was a present from my mother, and
some of them are gifts because I have a lot of friends that are very sweet, so they know that I collect teacups and they would give me my teacups. I love having coffee and tea, so that's something that, you know, I just love collecting. So I have my Hermes teacups. I also have one of my favorites, Fornasetti, and I also carry really nice teacups. You have the espresso cups. This is really, really nice. Thank you.
One set in particular that I was drawn to were these ones with the pink rosebuds. One of the glasswares that I was completely mesmerized by were these beautiful, clear, piped in gold, beautiful W in a monogram that I felt was so unique, traditional, but very, very modern. I especially love these little Russian containers. They were supposedly for ice cream from the 19th century. I also absolutely adore her little tea set, and I've mixed it with my grandmother Estee's little miniature silver teaspoons.
For my Zalto wine glasses,
These plates I've collected, they're Russian, made by this famous Russian porcelain factory in the 19th century, and you can see the coat of arms on them. And then, but they made them for the Central Asian market, so they have this very Asian Uzbek feeling. I just adore them. None of them are the same.
That I tend to find myself gravitating towards tend to be the quirkier pieces. For example, I was going through the Chaucher Blue dinner service, and I found these fantastic scenes of cupids torturing nuns or cupids being shot out of cannons. I just like to know that you can have the same humor as somebody did 200 years ago. The silver that we have flanking the plates were a wedding present to them in 1940, and they have their initials on them.
Yes, it's lovely.
This one I got from Italy. So these are super cute. These I got from Tuscany, and you know, they're all hand painted and one-of-a-kind pieces. One was actually given to me by my dad. He loves this brand, and this is very special. This is like my salt and pepper. I use this for special occasions, and you know, these are also for the table napkin, and it's very, very beautiful. And again, these are pieces that you pass on.
I also have a little mini collection of this matte black Wedgwood, and I think it's just fun to, and it is a Moroccan tagine. So you cook a dish called a tagine in this. I made it the other day for Jared and I, and yeah.
These are Hermes. They're paper actually, and you could use them as placemats. But
I change the flowers and the plates depending on the season, but I always go to white monogram napkins.
the question they ask a lot, do I break my teacups? The answer is no, we don't. We're super careful.
I used to always say everything can be beautiful if you take the time. That's really the concept of both my brand and my new book, Entertaining Beautifully. And I think entertaining beautifully and living beautifully is really about taking the time for yourself. One idea we have is that enjoy your beautiful items. Don't save it for a special occasion.
And of course, Donald Judd's Untitled Woodcut in cadmium red with hand colouring in maroon is a surprisingly textural and juicy work from this master of minimalism. Alongside Louise Bourgeois' compelling I Said Yes with My Eyes.
and this is the LG Styler. It uses the power of steam to sanitize your clothing, it dries your clothing, it steams and refreshes your clothing, and you don't always have to just use it with everyday clothes. You can actually use it for coats, sports equipment, even your kids' toys to sanitize them, reduce odors and remove odors. You can kind of even use it as a dry cleaning system, and so it saves you money with fabrics that are dry clean only. It's just so handy and functional. And
these are some of my favorite taxidermy in the house. These are Victorian era bird taxidermy in these heart-shaped domes. Every time I've moved house, which is 3 times in the past 20 years, I hand carry those myself, because if somebody ever shattered those, I would be devastated.
There's a few ochre hedgehogs scattered around the house. You might have noticed I fell for them when I...
One is orange.
I have a small Rhodone that is a hot pink little rock from his work in Las Vegas and last year's Miami Basil.
This is from my friend Annie Morris. She's an artist in London. I told her I wanted her to sculpt something for me, and this is what she came back with. I would have appreciated something grander, but whatever. I mean, we're still friends.
Mike graduated magna cum laude. He's in Order of the Coif. The highest academic honor at Harvard Law is the Order of the Coif. Get a parchment to hang on your wall, a medal to wear at graduation, and this key.
A Coeur neon piece from Tavera Strachan that I purchased that I just love. It's one of his bookend pieces.
The picture there is of me with my dad on set when I'm about 2 years old, and I had it framed by Framebridge. So I love that series of photos that my dad took on set.
Beautiful horse made from camel bones. Look this.
This sat on his desk when I was a kid, when I was 10 years old. I always admired it.
These guys are a little interesting. So when I was working with the elephants in South Africa, I really wanted to take a part of it home with me. So the best way to do that was some of the elephant dung we had collected for data. And so I have, let's see if it focuses, Amari and Tato, which are my 2 favorite elephants. And yeah, so I actually brought home some of their poop. It's dried though. It's
a little rock that I say my grateful things for at the end of the day.
I've also got my Philips Hue alarm clock, and this is great. Really, really great. We've really enjoyed introducing this into the bedroom, and the light just really, really works well for us. So it's also got this really cool function that I can turn on this like night light that's like really deep and red and relaxing, and we all know about the problems with blue light. So yeah, really happy with this. It's super cool. And we've also got the Philips Hue TV on the other wall, but I will tell you a little bit more about that in a moment.
I usually sleep on this side, but sometimes I try and shake things up because it's not really a mattress that you can flip. So there's like one big sunken hole on this side. And this is kind of my haven. This bedroom right here is pretty much all I need.